All right. So the next topic I want to talk about is just about who you guys have favorites coming out the East and the West. These playoffs, it's a different type of playoffs. So we don't have home court advantage. We don't have home crowds and everything. So it's pretty much kind of like a pickup. What they do over the summer, get together type of feel when got of course pumped in noise. But who you guys think coming out the East, coming out the West? Is the topic. I just want to go first just by saying it's a tough one for me in the West for real because you really want to believe that a team in the Lakers with LeBron and AD, two of the top five players, cannot lose in these playoffs in the West. But you also look at the Clippers and you look at the Clippers when they played the Lakers, what was it, about a week or two ago, and they torched them with Paul George and Paul George going off Kawhi. You got all these complimentary pieces, and that was without Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams that game. So that's kind of scary to me. That's kind of scary to me. We also have Houston. That's also a threat to me as well. Just because if you get a healthy Russell Westbrook and James Harden in that small ball, I think it's going to be the problem going against a team like the Lakers and teams with bigs like Denver and everything. So it's tough, man. Because then you got Denver who just balled out against a Utah team with Donovan Mitchell dropping 57. Me, I'm gonna just go on a limb here and say this is my pick. If we have a healthy Rockets team, that's my pick to upset these teams because the guard play is going to be too much. Now that's because the Lakers don't have a true guard. Even with Rondo coming back, they have a point guard, but right now they don't have a true point guard besides LeBron James. So
No, you need.
that matters. But when you're going against guards, you're gonna need guard play, especially against Portland in the first round. You're gonna need guard play. Now Portland play defense, but they got bigs. So if their bigs just try to play a little bit of defense, they could kind of get them with the guard play. Um, it's that's my pick. If you have a healthy Rockets, if it's not a healthy Rockets, my pick would be the Lakers. Even though the Clippers are not far behind, the Clippers kind of scare me going against the Lakers. But oddly, they kind of scare me going against the Rockets because I think the Rockets can get them too. So that's just my pick in the West. I think healthy Rockets come out. If there's not a healthy Rockets, then I think the Lakers will come out. And in the East, I'm not big on Giannis, so I'm not gonna say Giannis is coming out, especially with the way the Raptors are playing collectively under Nick Nurse. And then you also have teams that could potentially upset them, like Brooklyn if they get out the first round. Or I just don't see the Bucks getting there. It's Giannis and who? Giannis and Chris Middleton. That does not scare me. That's not a real 1-2 punch there. So that's my biggest thing. So I got coming out the East. I originally had the Sixers, but Ben Simmons went down with that injury. So this is gonna be a surprise here. I got the Celtics coming out of the East. I got the Celtics coming out of the East. That's my pick.
Okay.
Okay, Rockets. That was a lot. Okay, Rockets.
Oh
man.
Oh man.
Who want to go next?
I'll go next so I can get this one out the way. I'm gonna go ahead with first, and then I got a lot with the West. I feel you somewhat. Boston. Boston has been my pick. Boston, they got a young three. They've been my pick. Giannis, I don't really think he's gonna get over the hump. I wish he does. But they just gonna pack the paint and draw a line and make him force a jump shot until he gets consistent with that. He doesn't scare me in that when it comes to playoff basketball. So I will pick Jason Tatum, somebody that's been taught by Kobe. I will pick that's got the killer mentality somewhat coming up. I will pick Boston out of the East. I don't give the Nets a chance. Small ball, the Nets have played small ball because they got Allen playing the center at 6'9", and Toronto killed them. Serge Ibaka went off today in the whole first half. They put him back in the fourth quarter when Toronto got the lead cut down to 9. They put him back in and he dominated again, and they won the game. That's how I feel that's going to happen. So the Nets don't stand a chance. Boston's going to come out of the East. I will hope Giannis will get over that hump, but I don't think it's coming. I think Boston is going to get to the finals. On the West, that's going to be a little bit more. I'll take the Lakers path. The Lakers are going to have a tough go with Portland. They may get Portland 4-2. I got to give Dame and CJ at least, maybe 3 games, but at least 2, because one or two of them at the same time will drop 60 on you, and they will go. Like you look at the Saturday's game. Them, Nurkic, Melo, Dame, and CJ, all of them had 100 other points right there between the 4 of them. So I look at that. They can get hot at any point in time and win a couple of games against the Lakers. But then you look at the Lakers' next opponents, they're going to have to go and they're going to have to beat a Houston, or they're going to have to face a Houston to get to the Clippers, which I'll get to the Clippers. I don't think the Clippers are going to get past Denver. I just don't think it's going to be harder than what a lot of people think to get past Denver with the Clippers, with the different mindset that Denver has. It's going to be a little harder because I think everybody is overlooking Denver. I ain't overlooking Denver. I would love for LeBron to get to the finals, but it's going to be a hard road. So if I had to go right now, I would pick the Lakers and Boston. The thing that scares me with the Lakers is where everybody keeps saying AD is a top 5 player. Where? The brother hadn't been to the playoffs and done nothing. Where? I agree the talent is there. I agree the talent is there. The talent is there. But I need that talent in the playoffs. I need that ball to go and fall out in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. I ain't saying the talent ain't there. But has he done it in the playoffs? Can we look?
Stop disrespecting Anthony Davis.
He has, though. He swept Dame in them 2 years ago.
Okay, then. Oh, yeah, he did. I give you that. He did. So, and I need to see him do it on a consistent basis to get him deep there, because everybody knows playoff LeBron. I need to see playoff AD. I need to see you rise to that. We know playoff Dame. We know what we're going to get. We know playoff Kawhi. We know what we're going to get. I need to see playoff AD every day.
Well, let me just say real quick before you go, Neil. Playoff LeBron, I say deep playoff LeBron. First round LeBron is kind of always passive. He just be passive and everything, kind of just trying to fill everything out. But, that takes a little while for him to get activated. And honestly, I think, it's taking him by surprise. He's used to having that stardom and the fans cheering for him, so he's not really used to that. But go ahead, Neil, about the AD in the top 5.
Before I get to my pick, I want to put some respect on my man AD real quick. There's nothing wrong with losing to the Warriors. You know that, right? That's his only loss. Yeah. That's his only loss in the playoffs. So he lost to a KD Warriors and the Steph Warriors, and he averaged 32 and 10 in those series. So it's not like he's going out there and he just didn't have a team. And he's swept the Blazers before. So you gotta, when he's made a playoffs.
Real quick, Neil. Real quick. That was when he had Rondo, right? I'm just trying to
Rondo.
think. Okay.
Rondo, Holiday, and all of them.
Yeah. All right, I just want to be sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. But as far as the West, people sleeping on. I think the Clippers gonna have a tough road too, because people sleeping on the Mavericks.
Yes.
I'm telling you right now, like they say, Harold and Joakim Noah and all these guys, they cannot guard.
Joakim Noah.
No, I'm telling you what people. Like they got Montrezl Harrell, they got Zubac, they got Noah. They going get bigs. Like I agree. Like Joakim Noah, he hasn't been good in 5 years. Like I was in high school, he was good. So they can't guard KP, and I think they're gonna have to make a decision. Who's guarding Luka Doncic, either Kawhi or Paul George, and whoever's not, they're gonna have to attack him. So I think the Clippers gonna have just the same type of road as the Lakers. They're both having tough first round opponents, and that's gonna wear them down, and it's gonna be a battle of nutrition. And I think the Clippers and the Lakers gonna make it to the conference finals. And just because I have to see it, but I really think LeBron gonna get it done. I don't see any reason why. I know how LeBron plays. I've seen him all his career. they're like, oh, Lakers not the same team. They're going to get beat by the Blazers. They don't watch LeBron. LeBron be chilling. Like, LeBron knows how to turn it up and knows how to gather troops. He's faced more adversity in his career than the Blazers and all these teams in the West before. So I'm not really worried about him. So I got the Lakers in the West. In the East, I like, based on what I've seen, and I'm going to change my pick, I really like the Toronto Raptors. They're really good. They're coached really well. And this boy, Fred VanVleet, I love him. He's a big-time player. I think sometimes he's the best player on the Raptors because Kyle Lowry be hit or miss sometimes. And Pascal Siakam wasn't really good today. But just because they got that championship off their back and they have some experience, they're a really good team without Kawhi Leonard. So people can't really – I get Boston, and I get Milwaukee. Giannis is not there yet. He can't close games. You need a closer to win games in the finals in this league. You know, he don't have any go-to moves yet. It's just run and dunk with him, and he needs more of a bag. And you can't really rely on Chris Middleton. The Bucks remind me of the Cavaliers when LeBron was on the team. They're a good team in the regular season, but they're not going to make it to the finals, or they get to the finals, they're not going to do anything. They're just a really good regular season team with one other All-Star. So I got the Toronto Raptors, and I have the Los Angeles Lakers in the finals, and I got LeBron winning his fourth ring.
Okay. So as far as the West goes, right, I think that everybody is waiting for LeBron to just get into this playoff mode, LeBron, that we've all seen before. And me, myself, am a believer of that. But I think this year the difference is, and what I thought the biggest knock for LeBron going to the West was that he is not going to get that one playoff series a year off that he normally gets. You got to think LeBron sweeps a team a year. They get a sweep either in the first round or the second round. Last year it came in the second round. Not last year, the year before with the Cavs. It came in the second round. You know, the year before that, they swept Toronto, I think, in the first round. It's like you don't have an easy series this year. It's going to be a complete bloodbath for everybody in the West. And I just don't think that the Lakers stack up. I really don't. I mean, I think that they'll get past the Blazers, but even that, the Blazers could easily take the Lakers 6. And one of the things with Anthony Davis, like, I am a believer in him, but I don't know how much I am a believer in the Lakers staying healthy the entire playoff run. A championship run that's a deep playoff run. We know LeBron's built for it. I don't know if Anthony Davis is built for a deep playoff run. I don't know. He has had injury histories in the past, and the Lakers as a team seem to always have somebody missing. They don't have the supporting cast that everybody swears they do. Even Rondo coming back is less than Like, honestly, it's really nothing. I think that people are used to seeing teams shorten their bench come to playoff time. But if I'm playing the Lakers, why would I? Because odds are I'm probably deeper than they are, way deeper than they are. They don't have the bodies to match up with me. So I don't know about the Lakers. I think that the Clippers still get out. I do think Dallas will be a tough match, but what worries me about them is that they'll get too jump shot happy. More importantly, Porzingis will get jump shot happy, and this is his first playoff appearance. I don't think he'll want to go through a whole playoff series of going down there and getting banged up. I think the Clippers are coming out the West because we have yet to see a full-strength Clippers here at the bubble. And when they're at full strength, they're the deepest team, one of the deepest teams in the West, and definitely I think the best team in the West. I think the intriguing matchup will be the Clippers and Nuggets in the next series, if that's what ends up being. Yes. If really the winner of that series, I honestly could see coming out of the West, because if Denver finds a way to get past the Clippers, I mean, they're now the deepest team in the West at that point. Mm-hmm. The Lakers have nobody to defend Jokic. They have nobody to – I mean, they don't have any perimeter guys to really check guys like Jamal Murray if he goes off. If KCP or, I mean, what's his name? I
know you ain't say KCP.
Michael Porter.
Michael Porter. I meant Michael Porter. If Michael Porter is able to – if not KCP, no. If Michael Porter is able to stay out the doghouse long enough to stay on the floor, you know, he could easily. Who the Lakers gonna put on him? So I mean, I really don't see the Lakers coming out of the West. I mean, I know it's easy to say you see LeBron in there, but I just don't. It's too many teams better than them
there's too many teams better than them in the West. Now, when it comes to the East, I can't help but doubt is more, but I'm not doubting LeBron. I'm doubting the Lakers. I'm doubting the Lakers because everybody thinks that they can go in there with this 1-2 punch and just beat everybody. That's not going to be the case. You got teams in the playoffs in the West that can go 9 to 10 deep. The Nuggets could easily go 10 deep on any day. Who the Lakers have for that? They don't. And we've seen tired Bron. And we know what tired Bron looks like. And I don't care if it's playoff tired Bron, regular season tired Bron. When you get a tired Bron out there, I mean, it's very passive. Very, very passive. So when it comes to the East, everybody's naming all these teams, the Celtics and the Bucks and all that. That's cool. But we're forgetting about Miami. And I don't know how many times I got to bring up the Heat in here, you know, but when we're talking about deep teams, Miami's arguably the deepest team in the East. They're one of the best offensive teams in the East. And, man, Miami has been scoring like crazy. There is no one person on the Heat that you can go out there and say, we got to stop him and we'll win. They got at least 4 to 5 people that could go out there and get 20. And they've had games where like 3 to 4 people have gotten 20 plus. It's a very deep roster with Miami. Say it again.
Who does Miami have in the first round? Miami
has Indiana.
They got Indiana.
Which will be another win. They'll get past Indiana. They'll get past Indiana. Come on. Are we serious?
My question is Jimmy Butler shutting down Giannis?
Well, the team will, because you know where he's going. And then you'll just stack the box. I mean, you stack the box, let him come to you, and you live with the outcome at that point. Hopefully he kicks it out, and you'll live with every jumper that the Bucks take at that point. I did have the Bucks coming out the East, but I just didn't like the way I saw the Bucks play necessarily in the bubble. They fell behind in a lot of games that they did come back and win, but I just don't know if I can put that on them to get past a team like Toronto in the playoffs. So even Miami, they've only beaten Miami once this year. The Raptors is another team that has beaten Miami once this year. The only team in the East that Miami has consistently struggled with all year is the Celtics, that they wouldn't even have to face until the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think the East is definitely going to be a gauntlet, but if it's me picking, I'm picking Miami and the Clippers to be in the finals. And at that point, I'm going to go with the better team. I think the Clippers is going to be the ones to win it all.
You know who I just said Cordell reminds me of? It just came to me while he was talking. Chris Bouchard.
I thought it was going.
Did he say no time? LeBron.
It probably wasn't going to be anybody you can name that I would have liked, because I don't really like anybody anymore.
Yeah, but when you said time LeBron, like it came to me. I was like, there you go.
Chris Broussard, I can't give it that dude.
Man. So I'll start with the East because that's going to be easier. So for the East, the team that I picked that I got coming out is Toronto. I think they're just a championship team, even with losing Kawhi. They still just play like they're a championship team. It's like they lost Kawhi and didn't skip a beat. That's who I got coming out the East. As my top pick, as a sleeper team, I got Miami. I think Miami is just straight up gritty. Like Dell said, they got 3 or 4 people that'll just go off for 20 a night out of nowhere. And some of those people will come off the bench. Like Kelly Olynyk still play for them, right?
Yeah.
Man, look, I'm a Wizards fan and I hate Kelly Olynyk because the Wizards were supposed to play LeBron one year in the Eastern Conference Finals, but Kelly Olynyk made sure that didn't happen. So that's my 2 teams out the East.
I can say this though, Cordell, I did overlook Miami.
I know it's easy.
I will admit that I did
it's
overlook.
Easy too. Everybody's talking about the six, and mind you, I did bring up earlier that the Sixers weren't going to be anything. And everybody in here, I think one episode was picking the Sixers to come out the East.
I never picked the Sixers.
A lot of people did. A lot of people did. And whether Ben Simmons is hurt or not, I don't care if Ben Simmons is hurt or not, whether he's playing today or not. The Sixers are jokes.
Hey, you gotta have more than one Mr. Glass, you're not gonna make it. And they got two Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
Right.
Now for the West, the team that I have coming out, I'm gonna go with the Clippers. I think they're the deeper team. I think whoever they battle in the finals, I think they're just going to just run them out the building essentially, just because of their bench. I think they'll get past Dallas. I think Dallas chokes at the end games. They just don't know how to close out. They just don't know how to close out games. So I got them going to the finals as my top pick.
Dallas 2 games though. Do you at least give Dallas 2 out of the 7?
Oh yeah, I don't think it'll be a sweep. I don't think it'll be a sweep. I don't think any of these games will be a sweep.
There'll be no sweeps in the West.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any sweeps in the West.
No sweeps in the East?
Yes, possible. Orlando is going to get
Orlando
swept.
getting swept, and the Nets getting swept. Yes.
I think the Nets will get swept too, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Nets steal a game.
Yeah.
Nah, Orlando stole a game from Toronto in the first round last year.
Utah getting swept.
But go ahead, Casey. My bad.
Yeah, you good.
Okay.
I don't know about
Jonathan Mitchell.
He had 57 and they still lost. Denver's too
They
bad.
They also didn't have Mike Conley.
That's why they're getting swept.
I think Mike Conley will be back though this series though.
Did his wife have the baby today? Because if his wife ain't had a baby today, he got to be quarantined. Every day he'll wait, add another day to quarantine.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, they got to do that.
True, right.
They're going to get swept right there.
Yeah.
No, they could get 2 without him.
So you got the Clippers, Casey?
I got the Clippers coming out as the top. My sleeper team. Well, yeah. Well, firstly, I think the Clippers will just be too much for the Lakers. I think the Clippers are just too deep for the Lakers. Once everybody gets healthy for the Clippers, or once everybody starts playing again for the Clippers, I think because the Lakers are going to go 6-7 deep maybe. The Clippers are going to go 10 deep, and they've got 20 and 20 coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Between Lou and Montrez.
You still counting Buffalo Wing Lou for 20?
Definitely.
Lemon Pepper Lou?
Yeah.
Lemon Pepper Lou? Absolutely. He looked like he was back in shape in the last game I saw for him. He looked like he was back in shape. And then as my sleeper team, I ain't gonna hold you. I got OKC. I think Chris Paul can surprise a lot of people.
That's a good sleeper.
I think Chris Paul will surprise a lot of people.
Can't score.
I actually think they'll actually beat no disrespect, but I think they'll be Houston, to be honest. I really do think they'll be Houston. I really think they got a shot.
If they don't have Russell Westbrook, then I'll give you that. If they don't have Russell Westbrook for the whole series, then I'll give you that. Because they don't have nobody to go.
Hey, add them to the list that's about to get swept. Okay, she definitely going to get swept. Don't even.
I
don't think they'll get swept.
Shoot. Hey, watch.
I'm gonna give them 1 game, but then y'all know I'm old, so I'm 50. So I always say with LeBron, every year the brother's been to the playoffs, have been to 8 straight finals. I ain't counting them out until the Clippers knock them out. So I ain't gonna count them out until the Clippers knock them out.
Respect.
I'm with you.
Let them keep saying they gonna win. I love it.
I'm with you on that.
They'll knock them out. I'm not counting them out.
I love it.
You make the playoffs. I give you an example, like a little joke. Brandon's brother is 15. All he known since he picked up watching basketball is LeBron's been in the finals. Yeah. That's all he's known. That's it.
I mean, I get that. I do. I really do, because I'm a LeBron guy. I'll advocate for Bron any chance I can. But it's different. It's a different circumstance. It's a totally different circumstance.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does.
Bro.
We can't
Not
ignore the
matter.
fact that the
Bron,
East
you
was
see
the
this
D
every
league
year.
of the league.
Bron switches
You can't
this
ignore
switch
that.
on. He flipped the switch. Bron goes off on the playoffs.
Yes,
Every
when he's
year.
going up, but
Every
LeBron
year.
is used to going up against teams that have
But LeBron
back then in
has
the East
his team.
that has maybe
LeBron
one legit all-star. Like how
LeBron
many
has
legit
his team
stars
though.
were in the East?
LeBron has his team. Remember last year when we were like, "Oh yeah, LeBron, if he had his pieces, he about to get to the finals." He has his team
pieces?
that he wants. He has his AD. He has pieces at least to get past the first round.
And
I think LeBron gonna go all the way.
I think I was also bringing up how J.R. Smith would do literally nothing. Literally nothing.
I give you that.
He's there for support. He's a cheerleader. He's there for support.
Now he there for support.
He's there for support.
I thought he was there to hit the open three.
But out of two of them, with J.R. Smith, one of them going to do something. One of them
need to.
Either the Henny drinker or the weed smoker, somebody going to do something.
Yeah.
They're going to let them down.
Get into the bubble.
That's what they're going to do.
Somebody.
I mean, they both. Remember Deion Waiters?
But then but you know what though? If we even look at the first series, Portland and the Lakers, I do give Portland 2 games, but really, like you said, in the East, the key deciding factor is LeBron. Who on Portland guarding LeBron?
Nobody.
Well, we also have to see how. I mean, I think LeBron will be more aggressive. I do. Mm-hmm. But
he's gonna have to.
He has to because you're going up against a team that's going to put up 130 a game.
Yeah, and I know you got Dame and you got C.J. McCollum. I know that. They dropped 60 against Memphis. They dropped 60 against Memphis and barely pulled that one out. So you can get them there 60. Who is gone LeBron? I love Melo. God knows I love Melo. But please don't put 00 out there on him.
They can't. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious. No answer. Nobody to guard LeBron. But it's about when LeBron shows up. I haven't even has LeBron gone for 30 in the bubble yet. I don't think he has.
You about to see it?
Yes.
We're still.
You about to see it?
He did.
Bro.
Okay. That had to be that. Oh, against the Nuggets. Yeah, he did. He did. That was at the end though.
But I don't like how people are like judging LeBron like
it was against the backups.
I don't like that. Like, stop judging LeBron game by game. He's earned the right. Like, cannot judge LeBron into the playoffs. People are like, oh, LeBron scored 15 points. Like, who cares? Like,
it's different this year, Neil.
That's the case. That's the case.
What we know is too broad.
It's been an intermission. There has been an intermission this year, dog. Everything that we know about the NBA has to be thrown out the window. It has to be because we're seeing all new stuff.
Benefit more. An older player, as LeBron, year 17, doesn't it benefit him more?
I don't think so, because I'd argue this situation, this bubble situation.
His brother had 3 months off in like 8 straight years.
I'm saying this in this bubble situation. I think young players are benefiting just as much anymore because it alleviated all of that pressure that comes with stepping in a packed playoff field arena. Now they're just playing for their teammates. As a young guy, it feels no different than practice now. It doesn't.
Okay, well, we're going to see tomorrow. As we
I expect. I mean, it's LeBron. If he doesn't come out and flip the switch, I'm going to be disappointed. I fully expect him to do so, but
let me just say.
But I hear you on young people with pressure. They're not playing with pressure. I hear you on that. But as Levert from the Nets about that pressure today, that Toronto.
They're outmatched.
But ask him about that pressure Toronto put on. How he was struggling to get that ball to even get a decent look. And you know Toronto played defense. So every time he put that ball on the floor, somebody else coming. Ask him about that pressure today.
But that's a totally different situation. I mean, it's LeVert and the band. And he's going up against one of the best defensive teams in the East, let alone the league. I mean, they're going to blitz him. I mean, that's totally different. But, I mean, the Blazers have nobody to stop LeBron, but I mean, the Blazers have got people that and the Blazers could put a lineup on the floor where you have to check all 5 of those guys. If Zach Collins isn't on the floor, you have to check all 5 of the Blazers on the floor. I can't say that about any Laker lineup. Not one. There's no 5 the Lakers could put out there where we could say they got to check all 5 of those guys. They don't have it.
I'm going to just put a disclaimer out that they're going to lose the first game. The Lakers going to lose first game. And I think it's just, like Cordell said, it's just everything we looking at is new. There's no 2 games at home. There's no we traveling here for 2 games. There's no 5th game advantage, because there's no home crowd advantage. So it's just, like you said, everybody's just going out there playing. They don't have to worry about fans booing them. They don't have to worry about sleeping in hotels, sleeping in their own bed and stuff. So it's all
okay, Bill killing me. Neil, what you think they're gonna sweep? You think they're gonna sweep the Blazers?
This doubt though. It's just.
I mean, because let me tell you why the doubt, bro. Let me tell you why it's a doubt. Because LeBron, for what 15 years, we saw LeBron in the East. We saw LeBron dominate East teams, and yeah, there were a couple good teams along the way in which he played in the East. But now it's just like all of those good teams in the past that he's played against in the East, leading up to finals, are all now in one conference. And now you got to go to those teams. Those types of hard, mentally, and physically good teams that you got to go through, like Denver. You got Houston that got the 1-2 punch of the guard. You got you even got the Trailblazers who can get.
But Bron's seen it all though.
But I'll say this
all before.
Bron's now 35 years old, so now you had a couple months off. You didn't play in the playoffs last year, which is good. You got rest, but now you got to get back into the swing and going against better competition to get to the finals. So I think that's why it's a lot of doubt, bro.
And also, if you look at LeBron's history, LeBron's playoff teams, they have only beaten one team that is better than them. And that was the year that they came back in the finals and beat the Warriors. Any other year in LeBron's playoff career, he does not beat teams that is better than him. He doesn't. He loses to those teams.
2020 has seen stranger things.
And the stranger thing could be LeBron losing in the first round.
LeBron has lost the first.
The NBA is not letting that happen.
One time.
So now they want the NBA to cheat.
And you picked them.
They took Zion.
You know about the NBA.
I'm just saying, bro. When LeBron's teams are outmatched, they don't usually win. That's my whole thing.
We got a show next Friday, right? Or this Friday?
We got a show. We can do a show later this week. We gonna check.
I mean, the Lakers should win game 1. I mean, come on. I mean, I expect the Lakers to win game 1. I do.
They said they losing.
No, they're going to get swept. They get swept.
Nigga feels some type of way. He's like, no, I need the hate.
Nope, y'all got it, Blazers.
I do think
Brandon's love for Melo said he's losing game 1.
Well, that's because LeBron always loses games 1. If we're gonna be honest,
in the finals, not first round. First round.
Okay, not the first round, but he's prone to losing that first game in the series. Just to evaluate. That's his evaluation game. And I like to take it. He likes to just take it and evaluate teams and then be like, okay, this side.
Blazers could barely beat a Nets team, and their best player was Karis LeVert.
Yeah.
And
but the
Nets. What are you talking about?
Evaluation.
Come on, Neil. Come on. That's a regular season game, bro. Let's not act like we ain't seen the Lakers lose to teams beneath them.
In the regular season, they showed bad defense, though.
But that's all.
That's a playoff team.
Neil, that's also with CJ going quiet in that second half. He had like 3 points in that second half. Man, look, 20 in the first half, but 3 in the second half.
That time I saw
he left it all on Dame.
They had 4 chances to beat the Warriors without Kevin Durant, and they ain't show up. So you think they can beat LeBron? I don't know.
It's the
LeBron lose to the KD-less Warriors?
You just said what's wrong with you just said what's wrong with losing to the Warriors.
No, I said they had 4 fourth quarters to beat the Warriors without Kevin Durant, and they ain't get it done.
And how many did AD have when he was with New Orleans?
What you talking about?
How many did AD have when he was with New Orleans and they played the Kevin Durant?
Oh, none, but they got a game though.
Bron's lost to the KD-less Warriors. So has AD. Even the KD-less Warriors set the record for most wins in the season.
Portland had like chances to beat a Warriors team without Kevin Durant. But the people think they can beat the Lakers with LeBron and
This
AD.
is a different team, though. Melo wasn't there. Was Nurkic even there?
Yeah.
Well, last year he was.
Nurkic was hurt.
He was.
Last year he was hurt.
But they were good last year. They went to the conference.
They were good, but they were good considering the circumstances that it was just CJ and Dame and the band. I mean, Gary Trent Jr. wasn't doing this. Like they didn't.
I'm just gonna kick my feet up and wait till that. That's what I'm gonna do with my LeBron.
I expect the Lakers to beat the Blazers in the first round. I do, but after that, I don't think there's a guarantee anymore.
I don't think so. I think
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just going to still kick my feet up.
But I do think having that break when the Lakers really started to get into rhythm because they had just beaten they just beat
the Bucks and the Clippers back to back.
The Bucks and the Clippers back to back, and then all of a sudden the break happens. I think that is going to affect the Lakers starting out because they haven't shown that they got it going on all cylinders.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Avery Bradley is a big loss. I'm finally realizing that. Like they need Avery because Lord, get me out there because Danny Green can't guard himself. Like, come on.
And even LeBron admitted the other day that it's not easy to just go from, somewhat halfway in the playoffs to just flipping the script. Flipping the switch in the playoffs and just going 1,000%. Like, yeah, it's easy to say, LeBron's going to do it because we've seen it before, but I don't know why it just feels different to me now. I'm not usually doubting Bron come playoff time. I'm usually not, and I don't think I'm doubting Bron now. Like I say, I'm doubting the Lakers. I just don't think that the Lakers as a team have enough to compete with the deeper teams and the better teams in the West. In a 7-game series, I just don't know because Bron's got to sit down at some point. He got to sit down at some point.
So
Kuzma's going to have to step up.
You don't believe in two. Let me say this: like 2 top 7 players in the NBA can eradicate all the bad things the Lakers do and pull it out.
No, not when you're playing the Clippers, who have 2 top 8 players of their own, and then they also have the best. They got 6th man of the year coming off the bench, and just 7th man of the year coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then nobody's bringing up how good what's my man Jackson has been playing for the Clippers either. Reggie Jackson, who's been balling off the bench. Like they're just too deep. And then you go to the Nuggets, who got Jokic and Murray and they just, it's so many scoring options. It's just it's only so much these 2 guys can do. That's what I said. It's going to be bigger than that.
Okay.
See
you in October.
And better coaching. And because I do think there's better coaching in the West than there is on the Lakers also. And come playoff time, coaching has won people games.
Mills going to be hurt when it comes final time. and LeBron was gone like a month ago.
Oh man, yeah, they're gonna be salty. I'm gonna be salty. I'm gonna be mad at LeBron.
You won't hear from me if LeBron loses. You ain't gonna hear from me. I'm sorry. I'm not doing the show.
Hibernation to the next season.
I'm not doing the show. I'm sorry.
So everybody went. Everybody made their choice.
Yeah.
All right. So. I gotta catch back up. I haven't been checking in on the game since we started. I don't even know who's
I've been over.
Jason Tatum going off.
Sixers at halftime.
Jason Tatum got 21 points at half.
I'm just watching the